Let's look at best practice number 4, which is to keep notes during a workshop. Now by this I mean that many of us have found as instructors that just as in real life teaching in a live classroom, we kind of need hints and reminders in terms of what happens during the course of a workshop. Many instructors have found that maintaining notes during a workshop will help us be more effective when it comes time to grade that particular workshop. One way to help this is create a simple chart that references each workshop and each student. Now I referenced this before, and it would be easier if I could show you an example, which I may try to do here briefly, but really what I'm looking at doing is just creating some kind of little chart that has each name across the top and some kind of place to check off interactions or activity by that student, and then also indicate how that particular student maybe did or did not participate in the discussions. So in other words, I have on my particular grid a place where I can make a check mark if I actually posted a question to that student. If that student does not respond to me, there's only one check mark under their name as opposed to an X next to it. So I put a check mark when I post a question to a student and an X when they've responded to me, telling me that that student is done. If I have a check mark without an X, then that tells me the student did not respond to me, and that's a problem because most grading rubrics allow us as instructors to require responses from the students when we direct questions at them on an online environment, just the same manner as if we would do it face-to-face in a live environment. So that's another way we can push that engagement by keeping track of who we worked with on a regular basis and making sure that they are also engaging with us when we engage with them. The next thing we're going to talk about is what types of notes we may need for grading. Now again, it's difficult to remember everything that happens during the course of a workshop, so this little cheat sheet or little notebook or little grid may help you remember late assignments. It may help you remember particularly good comments. You make a star by somebody saying, hey, this person did really good, so I need to recognize that. It may allow you to put just a couple words down to remember something that they posted, because the grading window does give you the chance to see that, which you may not recall without reading the entire post again word for word, what was strong and what was not so strong that was done early in the workshop. Now you can make these little cheat sheets in Word or Excel. I've got a standard grid that I've made in Excel. Across the top it's got a space for each workshop, it's got a space for each student's name, and down the left hand side it's got the list of assignments for that particular workshop. Now for those of us who teach the same courses all the time, or at least regularly, I actually have grids built for each particular workshop in each particular course. So for example, if I pull up course 421, workshop number 1, I already have a spreadsheet that has all the different assignments built for that particular course. So it's very easy for me just to put the student's name across the top, have the worksheet ready for that particular course. Now, maybe I'm a little bit overkill on that. I've been accused of being a couple things in the past regarding that topic. But what I found is it really helps me be more efficient because I can very quickly understand what the grading criteria is, where the points are distributed, and who has done the work for that week. It also gives us a backup because we are a technology-based platform, but let's face it, paper backup is never a bad thing. So these paper sheets are something I keep, just like I keep in a regular classroom, because a paper backup does provide substantiation. So if a student challenges your grade, these notes may help you recall why, without having to go back from the beginning, you recorded the points they earned at a 6 instead of a 10. I'm going to make that point that you're recording the points that they earned, and you felt they earned a 6. They felt they should have earned something else, and you gave them a 6. So these notes help you substantiate that in times of a challenge. So the goal is to ensure that each student does receive some direct contact across multiple discussions in each workshop. Again, the goal here is that students feel like you're actually engaging with them and that you want to engage with them. When we pull up the Gradebox in Learning Studio, we can see all the student responses, but we can't see them threaded along with our instructor questions. So my little check mark tells me if I posted a question to them, I then know by the X next to it that they responded back to me. That helps me in the grading because I now know that that student actively engaged with me, which is part of the rubric. If there is no response, then that response is missing, and then our integrity as faculty and our integrity in grading requires us to grade according to the rubric, which results in fewer points earned. So there's 4 best practices for us to consider in managing effective online discussions to help us all become the best we can at this very difficult and very important role, which involves helping students become engaged learners and becoming better at achieving their learning outcomes. Now the next video is probably the most exciting one that you've all been waiting for, because it's where we look at actual student posts and talk about what's great, what is not quite great, and what is really not so good at all. We'll show several examples of good, some in the middle, and some that are really poor, and discuss how to respond to these particular posts to bring the students into the highest level of learning.